So as we just heard, President Lee Jae-myung delivered a speech at the UN General Assembly and outlined his vision to achieve peace on the Korean Peninsula. For more on this, we're joined today by Professor Andrew Millard, Assistant Professor of International Relations at Changwon National University. Professor Millard, thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
So President Lee said he'll work to ease tensions with North Korea at the United Nations instead of focus on exchange normalization and denuclearization, what he called the END initiative. What's your overall assessment of the president's message last night?
So overall, the speech itself is quite a safe speech. So he mentioned, and really the key issue was that South Korea is back. So he mentioned this new South Korean Republic. He talked about South Korea now becoming a global leader on certain issues and also participating in multilateral fora to try to resolve some of these global issues such as climate change, responsible use of AI, and world peace. Now, he didn't sort of directly mention the Ukraine war. He didn't mention Gaza, Palestine, or anything like that. But towards the end, he did mention North Korea. And as you mentioned, he has now sort of unveiled this new END initiative. Now, END, exchange, normalization, denuclearization. If you think about it, really, this is just kind of a continuance of previous Korean democratic governments' sort of functionalist approaches to North Korea, trying to get this engagement and lead to long-term development of relationships, which I think is definitely the right way to go about it. However, in his speech, he did mention that we need to start looking at it more realistically. And in my opinion, this continuing talk of denuclearization, this is something that I think the South Korean government needs to move away from, because North Korea, for the past 10, 15 years, has basically made it clear they will not denuclearize. They will not freeze development or anything like that. And so when Lee Jae-myung yesterday was talking about denuclearization, I think this is only going to deter North Korea from joining any future negotiations.
I see. And like you mentioned, President Lee also said a new South Korea has returned to play a role in the global community. And he's emphasized the importance of democracy several times in his speech. So he was apparently referring to the South Korea back on track after the martial law attempt in December, especially since he was elected after a snap election in June. So what are your thoughts on this?
So again, this was quite well predicted that he would be talking about these democratic challenges and how South Korea was able to overcome its own challenges and now is sort of back on the world stage. So again, I think his key message was really South Korea is back. It's a strong democracy. He's wanting to reassure the global community that what happened last December, this was just a one-off situation. But even in those crises, South Korea is capable of overcoming these strong challenges and can therefore also, again, play a global role. Because as we see in the current sort of chaotic global situation, there are many countries which are going through some form of democratic challenge. We see in America over the past couple of weeks, there's been a lot of talk about authoritarianism and freedom of speech. In the UK, again, similar stories. Turkey, Hungary, Venezuela, various countries around the world all have sort of similar democratic challenges. And therefore, I think Lee Jae-myung's key message was South Korea has a lot of experience overcoming these. We can help other countries around the world.
I see. And tomorrow he's also going to chair an open debate at the United Nations Security Council. Why is this so significant?
So again, he mentioned this in his speech. He brought this up. So the UN Security Council is a very powerful body, even though it's much smaller compared to the General Assembly. This is really where they have meetings where after the meetings, action takes place. And as South Korea is now chairing the presidency for this month, which is, to be honest, really good timing, this means that South Korea can set the agenda. They're setting agendas, issues that South Korea can, in the future, play a leading role in. So I think this is really a very strategic choice that they haven't really put North Korea on the agenda. They haven't talked about issues where they don't have so much control. Instead, AI, South Korea is a leading technological country. AI is definitely an issue and a global issue that everyone is interested in, where South Korea, Lee Jae-myung can go and say, look, we're a leading country in this. In the future, we can play a major role. And also, he mentioned in his speech that at the end of next month, there will be the APEC meeting, and AI, so the APEC AI initiative he mentioned, will also be a key issue then. So he's promoting this as well.
Right, we'll have to keep a close eye on the debate tomorrow. All right, Professor Millard, I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for your insight, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you.